The memory was a storm of shattered glass and screaming tires. Dr. Aris Thorn watched it swirl on the neural display, a maelstrom of synaptic fire and chemical regret. His client, a woman with eyes like weathered sea glass, flinched on the reclined chair as the feed played her most private horror, the moment her daughter's car spun into the guardrail. "It's just data," Aris murmured, his voice calibrated to a frequency of calm he no longer felt. Patterns of light and electricity were going to defragment the file and safely delete the corrupted sectors. He was a cleaner. In the gleaming, sterile clinics of NeuroSan, he didn't just treat trauma, he excised it. The Memory Purge Protocol, or the SWEEP, had revolutionized mental health care. No more years of therapy, no more pills that dulled the edges of everything. A 3-hour outpatient procedure and you walked out lighter, the psychic scar tissue neatly vacuumed away. Aris was one of their best. He had a gift for navigation, for finding the exact root of the pain without damaging the surrounding architecture of a personality. His own architecture, however, was a different matter. At night, in his Spartan apartment overlooking the neon river of the city, Aris would lie awake. He was surrounded by the ghosts of other people's sorrows. The taste of a client's forgotten fear would linger on his tongue like metal. The echo of a deleted heartbreak would thrum in his temples. He carried a cemetery of erased moments inside him, a curator of voids. His next client was a regular. Elias Vance, a historian in his 60s, came every 6 months like clockwork. His trauma was mundane, yet profound. The memory of his wife's final, agonizing breath in a hospital room that smelled of antiseptic and dying flowers. Each time, Elias would have it cleaned. And each time, a few months later, he'd feel a phantom ache, a hollow space where grief should be, and he'd return. He was trying to forget forgetting itself. "Aris, my boy," Elias said, settling into the chair. "I dreamt of her laugh last night, but I couldn't remember the sound, just the shape of it, the empty space it left." Aris prepared the synaptic mapper. "The procedure will target the hospital memory. Again, you know the surrounding memories, the good ones, are at risk of degradation with repeated sweeps. What good is a happy memory if you know it leads to an ending you can't bear to hold?" The question echoed in Aris long after Elias left, supposedly lighter. That evening, reviewing the day's logs, Aris noticed an anomaly, a ghost file, a tiny encrypted data packet that shouldn't exist, attached to Elias's purge. It was a memory fragment, but not one of the wife's death. It was a memory of choosing to forget. A moment of pure, unadulterated cowardice and love from years ago. A decision his client had made and then, ironically, forgotten he'd made. Aris had broken protocol. He'd never dived into the post-purge residue before. Driven by a compulsion he didn't understand, he began secretly auditing his old cases. He found them everywhere, these echoes. Not the traumatic memories themselves, but the moments of surrender surrounding them. The instant a client decided their pain was too great to carry. The shame of that choice. NeuroSan wasn't just deleting pain, it was deleting the human will to endure it. They were scrubbing away resilience. His supervisor, Dr. Talia Voss, called him into her office of cool glass and softer light. "Your efficiency ratings are dipping, Aris. You're spending too much time on post-op analytics. The sweep is clean. The result is wellness. Don't pathologize health." What if wellness isn't the absence of pain? What if it's the map you draw around it? Talia's smile was a clinical tool. Philosophy is bad for business and for stable neural profiles. You, of all people, should know the burden of carrying unprocessed data. That night, Aris faced his own ghost file, not on a screen, but in the silence of his apartment. He realized he had become a cleaner for the same reason his clients did. A decade ago, he had watched his brother drown. He had replayed his own frozen helplessness every night since. He had applied to NeuroSan not to heal others, but to gain access to the technology that could one day cleanse his own mind. He was a hypocrite with a head full of other people's voids. His breaking point came with a new client, a young artist named Liana, whose trauma was a violent assault that stolen her ability to see color. Her world was literally gray. She wanted the memory erased, hoping the color would return. As Aris mapped her neural pathways, he saw it. The trauma wasn't an isolated node. It was a dark star, yes, but its gravitational pull had warped everything around it. Her passion for painting, her fierce protectiveness of her friends, even her dark, wry humor, these strands were woven through it.